Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Little Ray's Nature Center here in Ottawa. My name's Lee, and we're going to be doing a show on, or a talk today on some of our, or one of our native species of snake found here in Ontario. And it's one that we often get asked about. It's our Massasauga rattlesnake. People often ask us, do we even have venomous snakes in Ontario? And the answer is yes, we do have. We have one that has a real medical significance to people, and that is one of our rattlesnake species. It's called a Massasauga rattlesnake. So we do have one here at Little Ray's Nature Center, and we are going to be talking about this one here today. We'll be showing you him in just a short while. As we go through these Facebook Lives, you'll notice that we always take full precaution and safety when working with animals. We don't pull animals out free handling and stuff like that. We always have our safety equipment. We have everything with us that we need to deal with these animals on a safe way. So we don't take any chances, always following safe protocols. Now, again, just before we start with anything, we hope everyone's having a great Friday so far. We hope that it's a great weekend. It looks like the weather's going to be good for us. And we'll be heading out this weekend camping. Should be a good fun weekend for that. So hopefully we'll find some animals and maybe pick up a Facebook Live while we're out camping as well. It should be a good fun weekend. But nonetheless, again, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us here on the Facebook Lives on a regular basis. We've got my family from Africa. We've got friends from Africa that have joined on. We've got people here in Ontario, in the US, all over the place that are joining on these Facebook Lives. And it's great to be part of them. And we also like to thank everyone for helping out. We just got a really great donation today from Metro that has given us a great deal on our food supplies for our animals. And they gave us a nice donation as well on a gift card that helped us out. So these donations continuously come in and overwhelm us with the love and the care that people have for Little Ray's Nature Center, for all the times that he's been out and touched people and giving people a chance to meet these amazing animals that we deal with on a regular basis. And it's just so amazing to see how much help we're getting from the community. It's great to have it. And as I say, Little Ray was here with us yesterday having a chat, and it's just so overwhelming and amazing to see what we've had coming. So thank you to everybody booking our tours and shows and things. But as I said, our show today is going to be on our Massasauga rattlesnake. We do have a little guy right here right now. These guys are pretty interesting. They are a venomous snake found in Ontario. It's the only one. They get up to about 30 inches in length. And this little guy is pretty calm for the most part, but if obviously agitated, they will warn us with a rattle, and they will tell us when we're too close. They may lunge out with a bit of a strike. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around quickly, and I'm going to show you what the guy looks like that we're dealing with today. I'm going to just flip the camera around. I'm solo today. So here we can see our little Massasauga rattlesnake. He's an awesome snake. And as I said, they get about 30 inches long. These guys are on the endangered species list. They are classified as endangered here in Ontario. You can see the little tail going there. I'm going to keep quiet for 2 seconds so you can hear the rattle. So rattlesnakes like these guys, they fall into the family of vipers. Vipers meaning they have front hinged fangs. They've got very long fangs that lay flat along the roof of the mouth. And only once these snakes strike out will those fangs, the mouth will be opened, the fangs will be swung forward into a biting position, and they would then be darted into their prey or into the aggressor. Now, rattlesnakes like these guys are pit vipers. They do have heat-sensitive pits, you can see. Typical on how these guys would defend themselves. So if you have a look at where their head is, they've got the rattle above their head there. And that's so that if anything came nearby, they would maybe be attracted to the movement of the tail to see what's going on, and the snake can then quickly defend himself by delivering a venomous bite. Now, as I said, they have a cytotoxin. The primary use of that snake's venom is not to bite and inject into human beings. It is there primarily to kill or immobilize the prey. Secondly, is it used for a defensive mechanism, all right? So these guys will bite and inject that venom deep into the prey, whether it be a rodent or a frog. As these guys are youngsters, they will eat small lizards and amphibians. As they get bigger to an adult size, they tend to be eating more mammals. And you can see here he's moving away, tongue flicking continuously. That's just because we're here. And the rattle going there is just a warning to say, hey guys, I'm here. Don't step on me. Rather leave me alone. Kind of like what a cobra does when they spread their hood. Now, rattlesnakes like this guy, they are keeled scaled. They got little ridges on each one of their scales. You'll notice that characteristic of the Massasauga rattlesnake, you'll see the kind of banding that goes across through the eyes, kind of looks like a little, almost like a raccoon. And then they've got the dark blotches down the back of the body. Now, very interesting with these guys, and what often happens is we get people that will see a snake out in the wild, and they often ask us, sorry about the movement there, guys, we're going to get you stabled up again so we can talk to you. So often what happens is people go outside and they're looking for snakes, or they see a snake out in the wild, and they're not often sure what snake they're dealing with. So we do get snakes that look similar to the Massasauga rattlesnake, especially when they're younger. These mistakes can easily be made. Something like the eastern milk snake, or your water snakes can often be seen, or your fox snakes can look similar to what the Massasauga rattlesnake looks like. And people, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to go up, especially when these guys are young. When they're first born, they don't have the full rattle yet. They only have the very first segment of the rattle, which they call the button. And they'll shake that, but even though they're shaking it, it doesn't make any noise. But some other snakes, and we have covered this when we were talking about the black rat snake the other day, where they will, when they get agitated, shake their tail as well, and they use that against the dry grass and leaves, and it's really a sign of agitation. And so if you go down and you see a snake, you're not sure, is it a milk snake, is it a rattlesnake, but it's kind of rattling the tail, it could be either one. You don't want to make that mistake and grab that snake and end up getting bitten by a venomous snake. So we always encourage people not just to go pick snakes up, because you don't know what you're dealing with. Not only if you don't positively identify, or you think you have it, because we only find the Massasauga in Ontario, but we do find that people do keep exotic venomous snakes. And there have been cases where people have released venomous snakes into the wild from other countries. And this could be a problem that you may come across, you think it's something else, and grab the wrong animal. So you've always got to be super, super cautious when interacting with animals like this. The best thing to do is to leave them alone. Don't interact with them. Take some pictures, see if you can get identified, but enjoy them outside. If you think it's a possible exotic animal, obviously you want to keep an eye on it, and call a facility like Little Ray's Nature Center, where we can maybe help with identification, and know that if it is an exotic animal, we could easily go out and help remove that animal, because it shouldn't be living in the wild anyway. So we always be cautious of things like that. So if you ever go walking around and you come across a little Massasauga rattlesnake like this, don't pick up a rock and try and kill that snake. They are endangered. We want to keep them alive. We want to make sure they're preserved, and they fill into a niche part of the environment. They have to be out there to help kill and immobilize prey. They eat stuff that bugs us on a regular basis, so it's all an ecological balance there. So we don't just want to be killing these snakes off. So if you do go walking outside and you see a snake, the best thing to do, and I covered it before, is to stand dead still. By standing still, it gives you time to calm down. It gives the snake time to calm down and hopefully move away from you. If they can move, they will move. If they can't move, that's when you have to move. So you kind of look behind you that there's no other snakes you're going to stand on, or rocks or cliffs you're going to fall over, and you slowly move away from that snake. And once you're a safe distance away, you just kind of walk around and leave that snake alone. So as I said, for anybody that's just joining on, we are talking about the Massasauga rattlesnake over here today. And that is Massasauga, not Mississauga. Now, rattlesnakes like these guys have a very, very fast strike. But you can see, I've been sitting here talking about the snake. He's been rattling at me because he can see me outside here. The door of the enclosure is open, but the snake hasn't come forward to try and bite me. And this is always a good one, because a lot of people think that a snake will just come forward. Even though I'm sitting here now and I'm dead still, look at that rattle. It slowly slowed down and stopped until I move again, or he feels a bit of my breath breathing on him a bit there. And that's a warning just to say, hey, I know you're still there. You should leave me alone. So these guys in the wild really don't want to be around people. So I'm just going to get you guys there. It's a pretty good shot of him. And you can see the rattle there. Now these guys, as they grow and they shed their skin, another segment of the rattle will be added. So each time they grow, they get a section of rattle. But you can't tell the age of a rattlesnake by counting the segments on the tail, because they might get 2 or 3 years, they're adults. They might get 1 or 2 a month as juveniles. So it's not an actual age determination. It just depends on how many times they've shed. Now, that rattle is made of keratin. It's modified scales that they have, that they vibrate against each other. That gives it that hollow kind of buzzing sound. And these guys sound just like kind of like a cricket. And people often ask us, would you hear the sound of a rattlesnake like this guy if you were walking around outside? And you would definitely hear it. It's a distinctive sound. And if you did hear the rattle of a rattlesnake like this, just stand still until you actually find it. Because rattlesnakes like these Massasaugas and some of the other rattlesnakes that we deal with rely a lot on camouflage to hide themselves away. And with that camouflage, it allows them to kind of stay undetected, where people wouldn't be able to kind of interfere with them or I just want to see if I can zoom in a little bit there, give you a nice close-up of the head and the tail. Let's see if we can get the tail going there. So you can see the rattle and the tail going nicely. So these guys, as I said, are critically, or they are on the endangered species list in Ontario. People do still kill them because of the safety of their family or their pets. You can see with the snake's face over there, you can see the nice heat-sensitive pits on either side, just below the eyes there. So these guys are mostly nocturnal, where they'll be out hunting, and they do use those heat-sensitive pits. So they can judge the size of their prey, how far it is away from them, strike accurately at it, grab it, inject the venom. But with the venom that they have, because they do eat rodents do have some pretty sharp teeth, and they will turn around and defend themselves against a rattlesnake if they try to grab them. So what a rattlesnake normally does is they're not a snake that typically hangs on to their prey. It's not to say that they would never do it, but they typically don't. And these rattlesnakes would lunge out, they'd bite, inject the venom, and they would let go of the prey, and they would lay there waiting for the prey to die. With the venom, they would then follow the same trail with the tongue, find where the prey is, and they'll start to swallow the prey when the prey is actually subdued, and it is now safe for the snake. So that's the whole use of the venom. Now, once that venom is injected, it doesn't only kill or immobilize the prey, but it also is used to help digest the prey. It's a digestive protein enzyme that helps to break the food down from the inside. So even once that rodent has been injected with venom and it's run off, that venom has started the digestive process already. So you can see I'm right up close to this snake, and even though I'm not moving around all that much, she feels completely calm. This is a female. Males have a slightly longer tail than the females on these guys. You can either tell them apart if you do see the two in front, or we can probe them. She's still fully aware that I'm here, but she's not rattling that tail anymore. And it's just a really beautiful little snake. We only have the one here. There you can see just the slightest movement and the snake will rattle its tail, just to say, listen guys, I'm still here, leave me alone. You get a nice close up on the rattle over there that you can see. So a really inoffensive little animal compared to what we would think it would be, just because we learned so much. There you can see kind of where I'm sitting and the habitat where the snake is. So she's really close in the habitat here to me. She's probably about 1.5 feet away. I do have my hook stick ready with me, and I have everything ready to go if anything she started to engage. But there you can see a tiny little rattlesnake. It's an endangered animal, and these are things that we should be learning to conserve and protect. Especially in our own environments, in our own countries. We often hear about things like rhinos and pandas and tigers and things like that. And as we work at Little Ray's Nature Center, we often do these talks, and we often ask people in our shows, how many turtle species do you guys think we have in Ontario? And we get answers from everything from 1 to 100 to 200 sometimes. But we only have 8 native turtle species, and all of them are vulnerable, threatened, or endangered. Some of our snake species, like this Massasauga, are endangered. And these are things we need to learn about to preserve and conserve in Canada alone. Not just the animals that we see in other countries. We should find out what we have here and the ways we can help them. So there's a really good bumper stickers you can get that says, "We break for snakes," or "We break for turtles." And there's a lot of work being done with some local areas and teams that are out there trying to protect these animals. And it's something that we like to make people aware of by working with them and showing them that when we do a talk like this and the snake's this close to us, not to show people that we're brave, it's to show people that a snake like this isn't out there to try and hurt us. Most of the bites that occur from these snakes are actually people misidentifying them or coming across them and actually grabbing them and getting bitten on their hands, not accidentally standing on them when they're walking through the bush. Now, if you do going on a hike and you are worried because you may be up in the Georgian Bay area where you do find these rattlesnakes, people may think you're going to end up standing on one when walking. So always avoid kind of stepping over rocks. You always want to kind of step onto a rock and then look down and step over it. So you're not maybe having a rattlesnake basking on the side of a rock area there, and you put your foot right over the top of the rocks and that snake comes out and grabs you by fright. But it's always better to never put your hands under logs and rocks to try and lift them up. Always pay attention to what's going on around you, especially if you're in these areas where we find the types of rattlesnake like this little guy over here. So yeah, this was just an interesting one. I thought about it this morning. What would we do it on for you guys today? And I thought, you know what? It's nice warm weather. People are out and about. And they may come across these guys. Now, they do require an antivenom. Should there be a bite from one of them, you can go to the hospital. It does run. There is a crowfab antivenom that works for the Massasauga rattlesnake. It is available at the hospitals, and you can go there if an incident happens, whether it be a dog bitten by the snake or a person, and they all know how to treat it. Poison control will be able to deal with those types of scenarios. So it's always something that you want to be aware of. But yeah, guys, we just want to say we hope you enjoy our little Facebook Lives. Unfortunately, I'm a solo today. Nelly is in the other side. She's catching up on some work there from yesterday. So I can't see any questions that have come up, but I will go back and I'll answer anything that you guys have for us, or if you've posted anything on the Massasauga rattlesnake that we can answer. I know Lisa's always got tons of questions for us, and it's great for that. But we'd just like to thank you for your time. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you have a great weekend. As I said, we are going out camping this weekend. We'll see if we do find anything. Maybe we can do a Facebook Live from outside at our campsite. If not, we will see you guys on Monday morning at 11:30 again with some more reptile or animal adventures here at Little Ray's Nature Center. But again, thanks for all the support, guys. And have a great weekend. Stay hydrated and enjoy the weather there. Have a good one, guys.